You came in way early. You came in way.
No, I came in exactly what I was supposed to. Exactly what I was meant to.
I want you to hold the note though next time.
Let's go!
You need you're gonna have to work on the lungs. You're gonna have to work on the lungs.
I can keep going all day. I could do 90 minutes of just that if you want.
Of just like the
just
O, holding the O.
Let's go! Is this good podcasting?
Yeah. I think this is what people came for, honestly.
Is this how you do it? Am I
this is how you do the podcasting.
Nice.
Welcome back to Triple Cross. I'm John. That's Casey.
I'm Casey.
He is Casey. That's right. We're talking about Nick Chubb. We're talking about NFL things. Football is happening.
All things.
We had Monday games. We had 2 Monday games. Dose games on Monday. I can't remember the Spanish word for Monday, but
Monday night footballs. Is what we call it.
We had 2 of those games, and we had all the games on Sunday, and so there's a lot of football to talk about on Tuesday. Before we get into that, let you know the deal on Triple Cross. Every 10 likes on the video, we give away a $25 gift card to our partner, DAPS Sports. DAPS has sports cards, memorabilia, that kind of stuff. So if you want jerseys, if you want stuff like that, then like the video. We're going to give away $25 gift cards. We're already at 10. We are currently at 10. So we owe y'all 1 gift card as of right now. Once we hit 20, we're just going to do a spin. We'll do a spin live on the show. If we don't hit 20, which it's been a while since we haven't hit 20, I think. I don't know, actually. Maybe we didn't hit 20 on Friday. I'm not sure.
No, we did.
But if we don't hit 20, then we just do it at the end of the show. So get the likes up on the video. We got
Get the mother
here.
effing likes up.
We got people here. Ashes to Ashes is here.
I love it when I say something and there's no response from you. That's how I know I'm doing it right. I'm like 2 for 2 so far and opening my mouth.
We got the kitty cat here.
What's up, Ashes?
I love that's a cute kitty cat. I wonder if that's Ashes to Ashes' kitty cat. Ashes' kitty cat. Jason Stone's here. What's up, Jason? Felix here, as always. Mike's here. We got the live chat is going. Felix, we got another Felix. We got 2 Felix. We got Felices. We got 2 Felices in the chat.
Felix Mania in here.
It's a Felix Mania over on Playback. We got, let's see. Can I do that? Can I do this? Boom.
Can we?
Boom.
Are we allowed to do that?
Hey, over on Playback, we got
the rules.
Jojo Mac. We got Jedi Thet. We got Mike. We got, that's you. What do you, stop, Casey? Gosh, you're so embarrassing.
I mean, Mike was thinking that the Giants had a chance against the Niners in the chat over in Playback, and I just couldn't let it fly,
Yeah, the Giants barely beat who did they just barely beat? Somebody not good. The Cardinals. They're getting dog walked by the Cardinals. They're about to lose to the Cardinals. I don't know, man.
Josh
Maybe
Dobbs.
the Giants play like not like they played the first 6 quarters of football of this season, but I don't know, man. What do you think? I mean, I know what you think. Let's not talk about the Giants.
Yeah, let's not. Let's
wait. Let's talk about Nikolai Chubbinski.
Like it. Love it. Got it.
His leg went, his knee bent, like most knees do, but his bent in another way, in the other way that most knees that don't bend. The way they're not supposed to go. That's the way his bent.
It was pretty nasty. They didn't show the replay on the broadcast, which is kind of a first. A lot of people are really happy about it. I'm in the minority. I was like, well, show me, maybe warn us, but show me, because otherwise I didn't need to see it. When he said, it's too bad for you guys to see, I was like, please don't decide what I can see and what I can't see. Now I have to see it. So I had to go searching for it, and it's not that easy to find, but we got it. And we're going to show you guys. So, I mean, that's how we do it.
Not easy to find. I feel like I've seen it like so many times on Instagram today.
Yeah, only in vertical. Like when I looked, that's it. Never mind.
No,
doesn't matter.
No,
we don't need to get into that.
The broadcast, the horizontal, the only people who would have shown that would have been the broadcast for sure.
The point is, none of you guys here who haven't seen it need to go looking for it, because we're going to show you. But we will give you the warning that if you're what do you call it? Like if you're
graphic.
If you queasy warning, like I don't know. If you
I'm
have a
not
weak stomach.
Watch. I've seen it once. Once is enough. I want to live in a world where I can pretend that this kind of stuff never happens.
And I've also watched it. I've seen it already, but I'm gonna watch it again because I'm a psycho, and it's just like a car accident. You have to look. Like I know it's about to happen. So without further ado, guys, if you weren't watching, here is
and his leg bending all the way the other way that it isn't supposed to bend.
No, Nicholas, one more time.
You can't just throw it up there. I wasn't ready to look away, Casey.
It's not good, you guys. I don't. There's no other reaction you can do other than like, I think your body just has to seize up in some kind of way.
Yeah, so sometimes this happens like in the NBA and you're just like, I just wish I never saw that. Felix wanted to see it.
There you go, Felix.
Jason says Mike is delusional if he thinks the Giants are going to beat the Niners. That's a throwback. Let's talk about old Nicky Poo. Because he's on the Browns. Get it? It's Brown.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That was the joke. So are the Browns like way worse now, or what's up?
I mean, typically when an NFL team loses their best player, let's say second best player, Myles Garrett's pretty good. They get worse.
The best player isn't the guy who's making $70 million a year?
No, he's not. He's probably not top 3, honestly.
No. Yeah, no, he's pretty bad for how much they're paying him.
Well, I mean, there was a lot that went into that situation,
Yeah.
It's taking 2 years off of football will do that too, or maybe it's something else. I don't know. But yeah, not looking great. Deshaun Watson.
They should have won, honestly. They probably should have beat the Steelers. The Steelers, it was all, there were chants at the end of the game. The Steelers, like, whole crowd was chanting fire. What is the guy's name? The offensive coordinator? It's like Canada or something like that.
Yeah,
fire Canada. I didn't know his name was Canada. I was like, oh, so Pittsburgh hates Canada. Like, I don't really get that.
Did they play Renegade again this week? Because the Steelers played Renegade last week against the Niners and they lost, which is kind of the thing. Usually, like a lot of teams have that like pump up kind of thing they only do for certain games, but usually teams are pretty good about like, let's do that when we're gonna win, and like maybe that'll make the difference and they win.
I don't know.
As far as I know, Renegade is like it doesn't work for the Steelers. Like they do that song and they
pump up. You're asking me what their entrance song was?
It's like it's particular like compared to other teams. It's like a big deal when they do it. And they've done it for a long time now. But as far as I've heard, like in like league stuff, I think it's on Pat McAfee show. Like from the players they've heard on the Steelers, when they hear that, they're not like, yeah, they're like, shoot. Oh, hey, we hit 10 minutes. They're like, shit. Like, we're going to lose, man. Like, why did you guys do that to us? Like, the fans get all pumped
keep playing
up.
the song. Well, if they did play it, then they broke the curse because they did end up winning, but there were chants at the end of the game, Fire Canada, the whole stadium, Fire Canada, which is that's Fire Canada. There's 4 syllables. This is pretty good. Pretty good. They all got on the same page for that many. But yeah, at the time I didn't realize that was their offensive coordinator. So I was like, they just really dislike the country of Canada. I mean, that's cool, I guess, but yeah, they didn't. I mean, I get it. They are pretty bad. They're pretty bad at offense. They're pretty good. They're pretty great at defense. TJ Watt is the real deal. Their whole defense really solid, but they cannot get anything going on offense. And the Browns also, I mean, I actually think the Browns offense is okay. I think the Steelers are particularly good at defense.
Yeah, I'm curious. A little sneak peek. We'll be talking about we'll be doing our first ever NFL team power rankings, our top 10 later in the episode. I'm curious if the Steelers are going to be, I imagine they're somewhere near that bubble, either barely on or barely off. We'll see how it all falls. One more thing about the Nick Chubb thing, by the way. I mentioned it on our other show, Overtime Operators, which you can find on YouTube or on podcast apps like Spotify. I forgot to mention it here, though. This is not the first time this has happened to Nick Chubb. On the same knee.
He's been that way before?
Yeah, it was really bad. He's had 2 of the like worst football injuries we've seen in the last like 10 years. So poor guy. Hopefully I know we didn't make light of it, but it's like I'm the kind of like if I don't laugh, I'll just have a weirder reaction. And I didn't really want to laugh anyway, but like speedy recovery to that guy. But man, it's gonna be tough. It's hard enough to recover from that kind of thing one time.
Was it on the same leg before?
Yeah, same leg.
Oh,
same leg.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that could happen to you in college, and then you could still go on to be like a top 5 running back in the NFL?
That's impressive. Yeah, I mean that might be it.
If he can do it twice and come back and be a top 5, I mean, best comeback player of the year ever, like story.
Yeah, I mean he definitely deserves the comeback player of the year award if he does that. How old is Nick Chubb? 27. He's 27. I mean,
it's gonna be
looking bleak. Hard. Looking bleak for old Nick Chubby.
He is that style of runner where he'll have a little bit longer shelf life than most, though. Like a real ground and pound, like power runner, like Derrick Henry, who beats the odds and as far as like running back age goes,
pretty smash.
He's got a shot. He could do it. Only special players can do it. Nick Chubb might. Sorry to revert back. We got to keep pushing forward. What's next?
What is next? I got some heat on TikTok today. Did you see this?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I saw it. But I'm gonna pretend like I didn't, so that you'll show everybody else. John, no, what are you talking about? What happened?
So I posted a TikTok on the TikTok app on the TikToks, which I guess we shouldn't send people to TikTok when we're on YouTube, but I don't care. Who cares?
Do it.
I posted a TikTok about 3.
Don't go there because we're gonna show you it anyway.
Yeah, 3 quarterbacks that I think are underrated, but I needed a better title, so it was like 3 quarterbacks that are top 5. That everybody's sleeping on, and that's really what I got heat for. So I guess we can just show it, and then I want to get your reaction to it. I guess you've kind of seen it already, but I want to get your reaction.
These 3 guys are top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and everybody's sleeping on them. Number 1, Brock Purdy. Basically, the only criticism of Brock Purdy is that everybody says anybody could do it in the 49ers. Well, if anyone could do it, why did Josh Johnson look so awful in the NFC Championship game? This kid has showed us nothing but good stuff so far. He hasn't even lost a game yet. Seriously, give me one good argument why Brock Purdy is not a top 5 NFL QB. I'll wait. Put it in the comments. How about we go ahead and let him lose a game? Number 2 is Tua Tagovailoa. Number 2 is Tua. That guy. We've learned a couple things about the Miami Dolphins this year. First of all, they have an actual cheetah playing wide receiver. Second, this man can put the ball in some tight windows. Tua could throw the ball through a set of Chinese handcuffs. Figure that one out. From 30 yards away, Tua could throw the ball through your car window and into that space between the seat and the center console where you lose things sometimes. Number 3, don't hate me, give me love, Jordan. I get it, the guy's only played 2 games. Listen to me, the Green Bay Packers have a form. Step 1, get 10 to 15 years out of a superstar. Step 2, draft a young quarterback while the old guy's still. Step 3, let the pissed off old guy play for, 2-3 more years. Step 4, send the old guy to the Jets. Step 5 is to trot out the new guy, and turns out is even better than the old guy. This is the formula, people. Every part of it's been executed. Aaron Rodgers is already sent to the Jets. Look at this plan has literally been working for 30 years. The last time the Packers didn't have a superstar quarterback, Michael Keaton was Batman. So why don't we all stop hating and give this guy a little love? Yeah, dad jokes.
Is that even true? Is that even true that Michael Keaton was?
Yes, I looked that up. He was Batman
I mean,
Returns was the #1 movie in 1992.
No, I mean it like. Are we sure it wasn't the one before?
No, Batman Returns with Michael Keaton as Batman.
So Brett Favre took over the starting quarterback in 92. Is that when it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, he came to Green Bay in 92. So maybe he took over in 93. I think he came in during an injury his first year. So, and then after that, he just started. It was very much a Tom Brady situation. I think he came in during an Eric Bledsoe injury, and then it was like, no, let's just roll with this guy. Like this guy seems good.
He's all right.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So the comments, the thing I got hate for was obviously the Jordan Love take. Not a top 5 QB is what
it's happening. It's happening again, by the way.
I'm just saying. Yeah, Mike, this is pretty much what everybody says. But look, I'm just saying 30 years of history tells us that Green Bay has a top 5 QB in the league. So I'm just going with the evidence here. There's a pile of evidence in my favor.
Sure. You can think that. That's nice. For a moment, I thought you were going to say that Tua Tagovailoa could like put a camera into a football and like throw a what do they call it, prostate exam like into your butt, like a football into your butt.
That'd be a good one.
I don't know.
A prostate exam.
Maybe work shape that one.
He could give you an enema with a football.
An enema. I mean, okay. Yeah. Tua can throw a football into your butt. That's from like 50 yards out.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I do butt cheek catch. I'm surprised that hasn't happened. Just in all the catches that have happened that are weird.
For sure,
nobody's
like butt catches
had a cheek ball
where it's like somebody catches it in their like leg.
They're wearing the wrong kind of pants for that. Like, you know what I mean? They need like there's no cheek separation really. You know?
Yeah, they need like some chaps, like some NFL football chaps. That's
it's like
you can still get the leg pads in there.
It gives a whole new meaning to like sticky buns if they take the like.
Oh man, that would make it a different game. That's for sure.
I mean, think about if you covered your whole body in like sticky, tacky stuff. You know, like you just kind of like go out there and like just spread out, hope the ball hits you and just sticks to you.
Just starfish it. You know,
this is real football talk, right? That's a real thing.
Yeah. All right. So the comments, they're pretty much what you would guess. This guy says it's recency bias, which that's like of all the things that were said, I'm like, he didn't even say anything about Jordan Love. So I asked him who he thinks is top 5, and he said Stafford, Kyler, Kirk. He says Kirk Cousins and Herbert is becoming underrated. I don't think he said anybody that anyone's sleeping on. Like he said all people that nobody is sleeping on, other than Kyler. And I don't know, man. I could have went Kyler with it. That's the thing. It's like I was really looking for a third guy to put into this because 2 people doesn't sound as good for a video. So I was like, look, man, I guess I'll just go crazy with it and be Jordan Love.
No, it's perfect for you that it's Jordan Love. It's perfect.
Kyler could work. If we were talking about like COD, I bet he's like maybe top 5 COD players.
Kyler could work if we were talking about like overrated, like babies. Yeah. Like Kyler's always been overrated. He was #1 draft pick, #1 overall. How could he be underrated? And people have always made excuses for him when his team's not good. Like, how could he possibly be underrated?
I guess I could see Kirk. Nobody really thinks he's top 5, but nobody's really
fair enough.
Either.
But yeah,
Herbert isn't a good one. Nobody's sleeping on him.
Yeah, I mean, he had one sort of down year, and most people think that was an anomaly. So
yeah. This dude just says the Jordan Love take makes me want to jump off a cliff. And I told him, get your parachute and talk to me in 3 years. And Lowe said, this is a joke, right?
Yeah, Lowe and I actually have similar takes. Honestly, that was my initial reaction. I get what's going on here. I get it.
Do you like that I lumped Brock Purdy in there too? So you're like, okay, well, now I don't know what to do with this video.
I mean, I'm in.
Away.
Yeah. I mean, Purdy and Tua, I don't even think that's that spicy. I mean, make it like top 10 just to like be a little less controversial. I'm like, yeah, I'll just sign
top
up
10.
on
I
Tua
feel like
Brock.
that's not even like nobody's sleeping on them for top 10.
Everybody's got Tua in the top 10 now, but still not Brock and still not Love, probably.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K said,
Nice.
Shit take, no shot. Dude out here thinking Love is 2.5.
What?
Yep.
Top
not
5.
A great speller. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, J, K. Bro said, Love, calm down on the cringe too. He says my jokes aren't good. I mean, the main thing that I did in that video is try and make jokes. You will notice that the comments are absent of any Brock Purdy comments. So yeah, nobody had any reasons against Brock Purdy.
Because it just makes sense. You know, at the end of the day, people are having fewer legs to stand on when they say he's not a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But
Mike says he does agree with Purdy and Tua. Look, the video's facetious. Top five is a stretch, but I think, I don't even think Purdy and Love are that hot of takes, or Purdy and Tua are that hot of takes. It's really hard to come up with a hot take for top 5 without people being like, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that, it's like just how it is. So got to go with number 20 overall, Jordan Love. But I don't know though, because isn't he pretty high up in our fantasy rankings?
Well,
he's up there.
That's a perfect lead into our next topic here, John. We're going to be breaking down top players across multiple positions. We're going to use our fantasy scoring. Even if you're not in our league or you're not into fantasy football at all, this could still be very interesting to you. Because I actually think that our scoring in our league is set up more in a way where you can look across positions and it all makes sense. And you can kind of compare across the positions. And this is basically like, who do we think are the best players where regular fantasy gets it wrong? What we got here? What's going on in Playback? What is this?
I was just JoJo Mack, who is a Cowboys fan. She agrees on the Purdy take. J-Dog said, you're the first Cowboys fan I've seen agree Purdy is good. And JoJo said, I actually just think he's hot. So, I guess by that standard, we got to go like, who's top 5 by that standard? That's got to be like Jimmy G, maybe Trevor Lawrence. Purdy's good looking.
Oh, you like the long hair? Long hair guy?
I mean, Jimmy G doesn't have long hair. I just, and if you
Trevor.
look good, you look good.
Jimmy, first of all,
Trevor
Jimmy
Lawrence
is not
good, man.
Okay, first of all, obviously I was saying that like Jimmy is a given.
Yeah.
And Trevor is where it becomes a
Jimmy's
little bit
the most handsome man in the NFL.
Like
down.
Trevor's where it becomes like, oh, this is an opinion now. Like, I'm like, oh, you like long hair.
Who do you think would be like not an opinion still? Like, yeah, they're definitely top.
It's Jimmy and end of list, really.
End of list, yeah.
I mean, if Brady was still in the league, like it's easy to forget because Brady, he's 46 now or whatever. But like, I mean, during his time, he was a
he was the hard thing. He started looking weird at the end, though. You know what I mean?
Well, he just looks like a freaky weirdo who like ages, but at a slower rate. But then, it's just strange. So
he looks like that guy who's like drinks some kind of like, never mind. We're not going to get into that because I was about to say
drinks
something.
blood of babies is what you were.
Yeah. There's like a legit like a guy who does like blood transfusions with his son to try and be younger. These on YouTube, you can find it.
And on that note, let's take a look at our top QBs first and foremost. Don't worry, guys who are watching, just because the text is really small. I'm going to take us off the screen for a second, but we're all going to look at this together. So top of the list, kind of surprising. John, your guy, your team's guy, at least.
Yeah. Kirk
Cousins, leading the list of quarterbacks in our fantasy scoring. Only guy across the 40-point line after 2 weeks. I'm no mathematician, but that means he's averaging 20 points a week. In this league, that's crazy. That's 20 points is a superstar performance in the TCP Fantasy League. Just for reference, 15 would be like an automatic starter. 12 is like a good starter, and like 10 is a borderline starter. Kirk is at 20 points per game. John, you want to say anything about your guy there?
I mean, it's pretty much all the Vikings have going is like Kirk and Justin Jefferson. So,
I mean, Jordan Addison, don't sleep on Jordan Addison, man. He's
that's true. He does get like 4 or 5 targets a game, I suppose.
More importantly, has a touchdown in each game so far.
But I mean, that's still Kirk though, right? So I think, I like it. I don't. Well, I mean, I guess the question is, do you think he stays there? I actually think that in terms of just pure, a lot of this is yardage, right? Yardage and touchdowns. I mean, I don't think the Vikings are going to magically come up with a run game. So I'm pretty sure they're passing. The Vikings are basically going to be an AFC team this year, just airing the ball out. Which I guess if you have one of the most elite receivers in the league, makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I like Kirk there. I think this is a weird list. I think it just supports my point. Maybe I should have put Kirk in there, but Jordan Love in the number 2 spot. By the way, are you CMC your way out, or is that someone else?
That's not me. I don't have him in this league.
CMC
no, am I even up here? No, I'm not up here, man.
CMC your way out is a good name. Yeah, I mean, Kirk.
My team's down here.
NFC,
I got lowly Josh Allen down here outside of the top 10, I'm sure, but we'll get to him.
I mean, within the top 5, we got 3 NFC North quarterbacks. So NFC North is a good place to be if you want to win our fantasy league.
Yeah. So just for reference, we have the top 10 here on the screen at once. So you talked about the first 2 guys. I know you'd want to talk about them. I think fewer surprises with Mahomes still cracking the top 3. Even Justin Herbert coming in at 4. Not too controversial there. I mean, these guys are pretty tightly packed too, by the way, especially as we go further down this list towards the top 10. A lot of guys right here in the low 30s. Russell Wilson, Mac Jones, Baker Mayfield, the bottom 3 guys on this list. I think it gets interesting in the middle part here that I've left out so far. So in order, Anthony Richardson at 34 points, Jared Goff at 33, and Tua Tagovailoa just a skosh behind him, just below 33 points. Are you surprised to see Tua this far down the list, John?
No. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Are you surprised to see Jared Goff this high on the list after everybody was hating on him all off season?
Well, the Lions look all right. I'm not. I like Anthony Richardson. He's been a nice surprise in this league. On Felix's ingenious team, aka mine and Felix's team, aka 2 Boys 1 Cup. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the line, Anthony Richardson, where it's like, yeah, after that it can get just get crazy. It can be whatever. Yeah, maybe I'm a little surprised to see Tua down there now that you're asking me. I hadn't thought about it. I just opened my mouth. I opened my mouth before I thought.
Let's keep moving on. Let's look at it position by position, and then we'll kind of show how the positions stack up against each other. The beauty of this league. So we'll just hit on these really quick. CMC at the top. Obviously, that's my guy. No surprise there. He was the odds on number 1 running back, and he's where he should be. Kyren Williams, though, about the biggest surprise in the NFL. Expected to not be the starter on his team. Cam Akers subject to trade rumors. Doesn't even seem like rumors anymore. The Rams have come out and said, we want to trade this guy.
He's not. Guy.
We got back-to-back B Robinsons here. You couldn't have planned that.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson, Washington Commanders, and Bijan Robinson. Then to round out the top 5, the only guys above 40 here at running back. Then there's a decent drop off. We have Tony Pollard coming in, number 5 for the Dallas Cowboys. John, what do you have to say about any of these guys?
So this is where I'm a little more surprised, because I think in terms of like where I was looking to draft with like an early running back, like really using early draft capital on him besides CMC, it wouldn't have been Bijan Mustard. It wouldn't have been Brian Robinson. It wouldn't have been Kylan. No, none of that. Saquon Barkley is really the first person I'm looking at that I'm like, I would have used, maybe a 1st round pick on him. Derrick Henry, I might have used a 2nd round pick on, but there's like some people like mysteriously missing as well. Dalvin Cook, not there. Nick Chubb, not there. Yeah, I mean, I think that those are probably the most obvious to me that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, but
don't expect Nick Chubb to.
Yeah, Nick Chubb will not be cracking the top.
He will not finish as your fantasy RB1, unfortunately, folks. All right, moving on. In this league, we've talked about it before. We combine wide receivers and tight ends. We call them
wide. We got
wide ends.
Tight receivers.
Tight outs.
Wide tights. Tight wides.
Tight. Yeah, whatever.
Tighty whites. Well, tighty wides.
I didn't filter.
Teddy White.
Looking at running backs. Okay, surprises here again. Well, this is similar to the running back position, really, not like the quarterback position. We have a guy you're not too surprised to see at the top, and then a complete surprise at number 2.
Dude.
And they're way ahead of the field.
This
Tyreek Hill, though, first of all, like everybody knows the weapon he is for Tua, the explosive week 1 they had. He had a fine week 2, not incredibly great for Tyreek Hill's performances, but he's still at 60 points almost by now. We'll look at how that stacks up. That might be number 1 overall based off of memory. And then for Puka Nacua, man, like
Puka shell necklace just coming up.
This is wild. For those
He's
who
getting
don't
targeted
know,
more than anybody.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this is a guy who came in. Oh, this is nice. Why didn't I just do this?
Kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Duh. Okay,
this is
Casey,
neat.
get your head together. Okay. Well, welcome back to having us on the screen. Yeah. So Puka Nacua, a rookie. For those who don't know, he's only played 2 games ever. He is the receptions leader now, all time in the NFL in the first 2 games of a career. It's crazy. I think he has 26. Is that right? 20 something like that. He shattered the record. The record's like 20. And he has like 6 more than that. I might be exaggerating, but I know he beat it by multiple receptions. That's crazy. He had 20 targets last week alone. In his second NFL game ever, he had 20 targets. For those who don't know, if you get like 7 or 8 targets, you're a good receiver. Like 7, it doesn't happen on accident. To get 20 targets, I mean, Matt Stafford's in love with this guy. That's what the reality is.
Puka na Cooper Cup 2.0.
Exactly, like Cooper who, you know, like
The only reason
you don't get absolutely out of your mind about this guy's fantasy value like going forward is like what happens when Cooper Cup comes back. That's the only thing stopping you from being all in on this guy.
Well, I've heard that the Cooper Cup thing, I heard today that it's like maybe is like a genetic thing, like a genetic degenerative like thing in his hamstring, which is like that means he would just never come back. Hopefully that's not the case, you know, but like, this guy seems like the other Cooper Cup. I don't know. I don't even want to call him a discount Cooper Cup at this point. He might be. No,
I don't think you can.
He might be the target version. You know,
if Cooper Cup weren't coming back, I would say he's going to have an all-time like year. Odds on early favorite to win Rookie of the Year for sure. We got your guy Justin Jefferson behind him. No surprises there. We don't need to talk about those guys too much. Mike Evans with an incredible performance this week. Rockets them all the way up to wide receiver number 4 now for the season. Keenan Allen, and then another surprise in Nico Collins. We got quite a few guys above 40 here. It looks like the receivers and tight ends probably are best off in this league so far. So let's go ahead and look at this combined up, all the positions together. Told you guys this is the beauty of this league. This, in my mind, is basically the MVP race, by the way. So what was that, John?
I was going to say, give me the receiver from Houston that was there.
Nico Collins.
So I was just looking at this too, while I was making that like video today. CJ Stroud's like 4th in passing yards. Like,
well, you throw a lot when you're losing by a lot. You know?
I mean, it's actually a good bet for like someone who's going to lead in passing yards. Like, who's pretty good?
Slow your roll a little, but
who's pretty good, but is going to be losing on a regular basis. Like, that's not a bad bet, not a bad dark horse bet.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player, but there's going to be teams that are too good for him to do much against. So that's kind of what you have to weigh that against. But yeah, here's the kind of combined top 10 or so. We do have Hill, Nacua, Jefferson, Evans, 4 receivers in a row. Receivers are dominating right now this year. Christian McCaffrey and Kyron Williams sneak in there next. And then we go back to Keenan Allen, Brian Robinson, Nico Collins, maybe the biggest surprise in the top 10 players
you don't think
right
Brian
now.
Robinson's the biggest surprise?
No, I don't. And honestly, it's Puka Nacua, obviously. He's by far the biggest surprise. But, I mean, there's a lot of them up here. This happens every year, no matter how much we try to learn about players coming up, but like Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, nobody saw coming here. Brian Robinson, at least we knew he was going to be a starter.
Mike Stanley got Puka, which I mean, what a grab! That might be the value draft of the year.
And then in this league, Kirk Cousins at that 40. Remember, he was the only quarterback above 40. He slides in here. Oh, I don't know, maybe like barely cracking the top 12. I think he's number 12 on the list, if I'm counting right. So pretty interesting makeup right now. We'll check in on that stuff as the season goes on. That's our little check-in on the best players at each position. So let's take that information now, absorb it. The records we've seen, the play we've seen from all these different players, all these different teams. I want to do our first ever NFL power rankings. John, this is going to be a fun exercise. I have no idea. We haven't talked about this one bit, but I do have something prepared here.
Which is most exercises are not fun exercise.
No, exercise. You're like
exercise is the worst. Let's just be honest.
Yuck. I hate exercise.
Hey, there's 6 people watching the video right now that haven't gone over to Playback yet. Heads up, there are 13 likes on this video. If we get to 20, we are going to spin a little wheel thingy. We're going to spin a little wheel, and somebody on the wheel is going to win a $25 gift card. So like the video. If you're watching and you haven't liked the video yet, like the video. Get us to 20 likes, and let's give away a $25 gift card after this segment, because you guys are going to get it there in this segment. I have faith. If you're watching the video and you're like, what? It's not moving. Nobody's liking the video. Hey, send it like to a friend or something like that. Be a friend and share the pod.
Do it. Don't keep it all to yourself. You know?
Yeah.
Bro, I kind of just want to play the intro music again. It gets stuck in my head and I'm feeling it, you know? All right.
I don't think that was it.
No, I took a little creative license, but I liked what I did.
You made new intro music.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Maybe I'll just record that like with my mouth, play my moutar, and I'll just like surprise you next week when we hit the button. You'll just be like, what's going on?
I would prefer if you made up some lyrics, but hey, whatever you do.
This is the Triple Cross Show. This is the Triple Cross Show.
For 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I do. All right. Anyway, Triple Cross Podcast Power Rankings, NFL football teams, top 10. That's like the biggest lead in ever. All right. So for context, I have AFC over here, NFC over here, and they are sorted in order, not an order that I came up with. This is the current, according to Caesars Sportsbook, these are the favorites in order to win the Super Bowl. I have them separated by conference. I will tell you, it was pretty interesting. Never mind. I won't tell you that. Let's just get into this. John, how do you want to start this process? Do you want to start kind of just putting teams we think belong in here, like in the middle, and then sorting it out from there? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I think like maybe let's put some teams we know we're going to have in there in no particular order. So like, I think we all generally can agree on like somewhere in the top 10, we're going to see the Chiefs. We're going to see the Bills. We're going to see the Niners. We're going to see the Eagles. We're going to see the Cowboys.
I think so. So let's grab, say, the Chiefs just for the sake of argument. They're a pretty good football team. Let's drop them in the one spot just to be not controversial.
No particular order right now. No particular
order. Maybe I'll just go no particular order. Go. I did grab the Niners next. But
NFC, NFC, AFC, NFC. I like it.
Exactly. I'm just going back and forth here. And again, these are Super Bowl odds. So miss me with the
guy putting stuff where in other stuff. Putting things in other things.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say.
Hold on. I don't think we need the Ravens there just yet, if I'm being honest.
We're going to start here. How about that? We could take them off if you want. If you're
move number 1, take the Ravens out of there and put the Dolphins there.
Okay. I'm down with putting the Dolphins here to replace that AFC spot right now. Okay, so let's get into this. We're already talking. Yeah. I just went back and forth and we couldn't get through 5 picks before it was weird. All right, so let's just let's pick a random team.
Let's round out this 10. Let's round out this 10 really quick, and then let's talk order and talk like the 9-10 spot. So I think if we're rounding this out, this is where we stop going AFC, NFC. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if
I can't get ahead here.
Out, I'm definitely putting Bengals in there. I don't know about you.
Oh, let's wait on them. Let's wait on them, baby. I don't know.
Okay.
There, let's drop them in.
Who are you definitely putting in then?
Let's just kind of start tossing them in more where we think they'll end up landing. Because the Bengals, I think the case has to be made that they're a top team still. Yeah. Maybe not top 10. I'm not really
any team that's 0-2 definitely doesn't have a great shot.
Oh, I should have put records on here. I didn't even think of that. We could add that as we go. But anyway, who did we stop on here? Lions. I'm going to go ahead and definitely say I like the Lions to be on the list for sure.
Okay. All right.
Who else? Jags. I'm saying the Jags belong here.
I don't think the Falcons do. Yeah,
so?
I'm getting pretty cold on basically the rest of the NFC teams.
Man, you've been watching too much national football media. That's what's going on.
No,
okay. Well, who belongs
after that top 3? The NFC gets kind of all over the place. It's like could be anybody. Whereas the AFC, maybe there's like 5. I don't like the Browns to put on the list. I don't like the Chargers. Don't like the Steelers. Chargers maybe actually. but they're 0-2 as well. I mean,
that's interesting. I mean, you don't think the Browns are
basically, I think what I'm realizing is like I don't even care about the top 10. I care about the top 7, and that's it.
Okay, well, that's not the exercise, John. So for top 10, the top 10 is interesting because it's hard to decide on those spots after like the top 6 or 7 for sure. That's the whole point. I do have a question for you. Would the Browns be up here had Nick Chubb not gone down? Would you be like they're in the top 10? I just don't know where yet.
Well, are we assuming that if Nick Chubb didn't go down, they wouldn't have lost to the Steelers? Because if they lost to the Steelers, then no.
Wait, you ask me that question again.
Are we assuming that if Nick Chubb didn't go down, then the Browns wouldn't have lost to the Steelers? Because the Browns lost to the Steelers. So if the Browns are going to lose to the Steelers, then no, I do not have them in the top 10.
If Nick Chubb doesn't go down, then I think they win. Enough reason not to like consider them here, really. I guess without Nick Chubb, it's tough. It's a tough ask. So
I think the main reason to not consider them there is, would you consider the Steelers there? Because the Steelers beat them.
I don't consider the Steelers there for sure.
Yeah,
I don't.
So I think I'm out on the Browns then.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think the Browns would have beat them though. To answer your question, sorry, I was thinking about other stuff. I'm actually not sold that the Bengals still belong here in their current state. I do believe they'll bounce back. So I guess I do believe in them having here. I guess we're having a hard time.
I guess maybe let's define that then. Are we saying like who are the top 10 teams right now? Because it's just 10-2-0 teams.
Well, I don't even think that's necessarily true, right? Because matchups matter. But I guess let's do it for like a season outlook. Like who? I mean, we started with Super Bowl odds, so I guess this would be it. Like, let's put the Super Bowl winner in these top 10 for sure.
Okay.
And I guess then it would be like teams we think will make the playoffs. I know I kind of look at it as like matchups. Like if you put all the teams against each other, like who wins the most matchups? If every team plays all 31 other teams, what are the best records? You know what I mean? I guess that's how I look at it. I don't know if that's how you should look at it, but that's what I do. So what are we thinking here? For the 10th spot, for another team to get on here, just for the sake of like getting enough teams on here, I got teams like the Seahawks, maybe the Saints, maybe let's not talk about the Browns.
I mean, how are you going to put the Seahawks on there and not put the Rams on there?
I mean, where are the Rams? Oh, down here. The Rams, I mean, just that's not even my bias. Like the Rams are way lower. And
the Rams dog walk the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't consider matchups to go quite like that. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't just say this team beats that team, therefore that team is like
or two. I mean, like that. But that's what I'm saying. Why do you think the Seahawks like deserve the spot and the Rams don't?
Yeah,
say more.
Yeah, the Rams themselves. I mean, hey, they gave the Niners a pretty good run for sure.
And they beat the Seahawks. So in their 2 outings, they've actually played pretty well in both of them.
They've done all right. No Cooper Kupp. So assuming he comes back, they should get stronger for sure. I do like that. You're making a good case for him for sure. I guess I think I'm trying to, even though I'm saying the Seahawks are in the conversation, I guess I'm trying to protect against NFC West bias. Maybe I don't know which team is better. I guess I don't say the Rams beat the Seahawks, so the Rams are automatically better. I imagine the Seahawks still finish with a better record. So maybe that's just a bad case for either team. Like we can't even tell if they're the next best team in the division.
Mm-hmm.
So who else is considered here? We had I said like the Saints. I mean, you're low on the Falcons, right?
Something about, and this is just eye test because I've seen a lot of them because they've been in the red zone a lot. Something about the Chargers, even though they're 0-2, makes me feel like they're more of a contender than that.
I don't know. I mean, how can you simultaneously have the take that like the top 3 or 4 or whatever in the AFC are so strong, but the Chargers still have a chance outside of that top 3 or 4 spots? While the NFC, there's only a couple of good teams that are so good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
are we talking about teams with a shot to win the Super Bowl, or are we talking about? Yeah, I guess that's how we're doing this. Teams with a shot to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think we have to land on something. Power rankings mean nothing.
That makes sense. So by that, like I would say, if we're just saying like, you know, who's better, I do think the Chargers are better than a lot of NFC teams that probably have a better chance than them to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you do have to get to the Super Bowl, so that does matter. So who do we want? Let's just start going on this list. Let's leave the 10 spot alone for a second. Maybe it becomes clearer as we go. Do we have any qualms with the Chiefs at number 1?
I mean, right now,
the Niners.
I would put the Dolphins or the Cowboys at number 1 right now.
Dolphins or the Cowboys. I wouldn't. I'm trying to be not just a Cowboy hater. I would have to consider them being the number 1. I do have to say,
or the Niners. I would actually put the Niners or Dolphins or Cowboys.
being as non-biased as I'm trying to be, it is hard to look at that. It was a complete surprise to me that I looked at those odds and the Niners were number one.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have guessed that would be the case because I think that, but I wouldn't think the national media would come up with that, and sports books would reflect that. The fact that it does that, I'm like, wait.
I would like to have seen the Niners not win by only a touchdown against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that means the Rams are actually good. I don't know.
Right. That might be the biggest point. I think a close loss to the Niners might mean more.
I mean, if you think the Niners are the number one spot and you're not even putting the Rams at 10 after they beat the Seahawks and by significantly and covered the spread against the Niners, I mean, that was pretty funny, by the way, that Sean McVay kicked that field goal just to cover the spread.
Yeah. You convinced me to put the Rams in.
The Rams there. Okay.
It might change. Subject to change.
Yeah. So for me, it's got to be Niners, Dolphins, or Cowboys. Dolphins or Niners. I definitely have some anti-Cowboy bias too. They've probably dominated the most, honestly. Like they've been the most dominant in their 2 games, but
let's at least get I agree with you that the Dolphins and Cowboys probably need to be moved up in the top 4. I think with them and the Chiefs and the Niners, that makes the top 4. Are we in agreement on that?
Yeah. Niners would probably round out my top 4. And I think I might put Chiefs. I think I might put Chiefs in the 4 spot just because it's like we're talking about this year. So let's prioritize the teams that have at least gone 2-0 this year.
Yeah, and I'm just taking some teams and shuffling them around according to kind of what we're talking about here, without forgetting to replace them. So I just kind of bumped up the Dolphins and Cowboys above the Bills and Eagles, kind of moving them in pairs here. Kind of feels like that's how we have to do this, right? Like you have the Chiefs and Niners who are the like legacy good teams, been around the last 5 years. They're just always there at the top of their conferences. Dolphins and Cowboys are like the new look teams, like on the come up. The Bills and Eagles are the teams that are still doing fine, but sort of just barely covering what they should be doing at this point.
Yeah.
So we kind of have them in pairs here. Does that hold up here with 7 and 8? The Lions and Jaguars. I kind of think it does. I think these are teams that for a long time have been really bad.
I'm colder on the Lions. I'm colder on the Lions than I am on the Jaguars.
As a package, these are the teams. I didn't mean for this to happen. But these two are both teams that have been bad for so long, and they're finally projected to actually be good, to actually finish as top 5 teams in their conference.
Yeah.
You said you're higher on the Jags than the Lions.
I'm colder on the Lions because we don't even have the Seahawks on this list. The Seahawks beat them.
Yeah, that just means not as much to me on like individual matchups, but because as you said, the Seahawks lost to the Rams, so like you can't. I mean, so what happens?
I think it probably makes the case that the Rams are above that 7 spot.
The Rams?
Yeah.
Man, okay. Well, I'm glad we have them.
We got the
here,
Niners either in the 1 spot or, the 2 spot or whatever. And then we got the Seahawks. We have the Lions in here. The Seahawks beat the Lions. The Rams beat the Seahawks. I get it. I get your like transitive property isn't a thing, but we only have 2 games this season to go off of. And
that's why you can't just go off of the games, I think. You know what I mean? I think you have to, this early in the season at least, we still have to project a little bit. You know what I mean? But here, let's just start asking some actual questions that'll move stuff around. So Rams, you're really high on the Rams. What is the highest number you think they belong at, regardless of where the other teams are?
They don't belong
where all of a sudden does it no longer make any sense?
They belong in the 7 spot, I think, maybe.
7.
I don't think they belong above the Eagles or the Bills.
Okay. So
but I do think they belong above the Lions, so maybe not above the Jaguars either.
How about the Bengals? How do they fit in? So we're looking at these 4 teams kind of then. How do the Bengals work into there?
I mean, I think both of us are just putting the Bengals in there on a projection. They don't look good. So like,
they don't.
If we're going off of this year, they like really shouldn't even be in there, but we're just that's pure projection. So to me, that's like what the 10 spots for, really.
Yeah, projections, belief. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's lots of this power ranking.
I think that's what the 10 spots for. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think that's where they have to fall. Because I'm going to let I'm going to go on record and say I obviously don't necessarily agree with your Rams take because I was hesitant to even put them into this list. But maybe you're convincing me a little bit, but more, I'm just trying to share the power with you. And I'm like, you're clearly saying move the Rams up. I think the Bengals have to be our 10 team. And I think that's the only team right now that I know we have in the right spot. That's where they're going to finish. Who belongs in the 9 spot then? I assume it's one of these 3 teams. We're not going to go crazy here.
I think it's the Lions, but
You think it's the Lions. I think it's the Rams for sure. How do we settle this?
Probably a YouTube poll. Probably a YouTube poll, I would guess.
Let's do it. All right, Lions or Rams? Who belongs?
All right, yeah. Tell us in playback.
Yep.
Who belongs higher, Lions or Rams? Tell us in playback, and then I'll make a YouTube poll as well. So what are we asking really? Who finishes the season in a better spot? Who has a better chance of winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah, sure. Who has a better chance of winning the Super Bowl? I still think just who is a better team. Because do we think the best team is not going to win the Super Bowl?
Well, no, that was your point. I think there's better teams in the AFC. Like Chargers, I think probably belong above some NFC teams, but it's harder for them to get there. So if we're going
above the Rams, would you have them above the Rams? Above the Lions? I mean,
probably above the Rams. Yeah, probably above the Lions.
Really?
As well. Yeah.
Okay, enough to knock off the Bengals off the list?
No, I would knock off one of those other teams because I still just think that the Bengals are there.
Interesting. Yeah, so you're just firm on 10 Bengals for whatever. That all. Well, I'm gonna make you like prove it then. So let's leave the Bengals where they are. Sounds like that's what the 10 spot is for, like we said. The Chargers, I mean, I'm down with putting them in here, but I don't know that makes me believe in, like, say, the Rams more, you know, that you want to throw the Chargers in above them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't have the Lions on here, but you're on the line.
I'm down with putting the Lions next. But your Charger stuff is kind of concerning me a little bit. Not that I disagree wholly, but like I would have sooner put the Chargers on.
All I was saying with the Chargers is that the question is who has the best chance to win the Super Bowl, because the Lions or the Rams probably have a better chance.
Okay, let's reframe this. Best teams. It's just the best teams.
Well, the poll's already out, man.
Okay.
Poll's already out with best chance to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. I don't feel okay. That's fine. Power rankings can mean whatever we want. So best chance to win the Super Bowl.
But we just have to stick with the thing, and because that's what we said earlier was best chance to win the Super Bowl.
Sure.
So we just got to. So
you think the Chargers are a better team, but they just can't get out of the AFC?
Yeah, that's kind of my position on the Chargers.
Okay, fair enough. It's going to make it tough to do some of these things, but okay. All right. So then,
I mean, look, I think the Rams are a little higher than the Lions. You think the Lions are a little higher than the Rams? We'll let the polls decide.
They're probably the next two spots, right? Unless you think
feels right. I think the Jaguars are higher than both of them. I think the Eagles are higher than the Jags. I think the Bills are higher than the Eagles. I think the Cowboys are higher than the Bills. I think the Dolphins are higher than the Cowboys. Those top three is where I'm at right now. Dolphins, Niners.
Let's jump around.
Actually, I think Chiefs. I'd put Chiefs in 4 right now. I would put Chiefs in 4.
Based off what you're saying, I also would put the Niners above the Chiefs. If for no other reason, like obviously I'm a homer anyway, but like we haven't seen the best of the Chiefs yet, you know, and I can't honestly say I have them higher than I would have had at season start. So for that reason, I'm okay with not having them the number one team.
I'll say
this. I probably have a hard time not having the Chiefs the number one AFC team on the list. Does that make sense to you? Or would you go Dolphins are better?
No, I think I have the Dolphins in the 1 spot right now overall.
The 1 spot. Wow. Okay. Dolphins over the Niners then.
The only reason I would have the Niners over is because I think that it might be easier for them to get out of the AFC than it would be for the Dolphins to get out of, for them to get out of the NFC than it would be for the Dolphins to get out of the AFC. But yeah, I do think the Dolphins are like the best team. So yeah,
so this is why I think we should. Yeah, this is why it's kind of weird because like now
I'm making the only case I can for the Dolphins not being in the 1 spot, and that would be maybe it's harder to get out of the AFC, but I do think that.
Well, I do think their defense.
I have them in the 1 spot.
Compared to some of these teams, their defense is just not as good. You know what I mean? It's just not. They give up a ton of points. So I don't know about that. I mean, the Bills, the Niners, the Cowboys, obviously they all have better defenses. So the Dolphins might have the best offense for sure. It's tough to argue. All they do is pass the ball. They don't even need to run.
So we do have Lions over Rams in the polls. So we could go, what are we looking to do here? Who rank these teams? So we got I think it's rank these teams, Niners, Dolphins, Cowboys. Wait, no, that doesn't work because they can't select more than one in the polls. I guess just in the chat, guys, rank the teams, Niners, Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs in order.
Yeah.
I think if I were to do it, I would go Dolphins, Niners, Cowboys, Chiefs. So I would put it how we have it, except for switch the Dolphins and Niners. And I imagine that you would have it how we have it.
I would have it. I would
We
actually
probably
have
the
it.
Chiefs higher.
I would probably have it Niners, Chiefs, Dolphins, Cowboys. And even then, like Dolphins, Cowboys are real close. I guess that's how I am. That's why I kind of liked pairing them up before.
Well, a
at
lot of
least
it,
mentally.
dude. A lot of it's what's going on this season too. Like if we're
hold
really
on,
projecting, then the Bills,
that's why I'm
Bills are higher
saying
than the Cowboys. I do think the Cowboys will drop off, but like
that's
if
why
we're
I'm
really
saying
projecting,
you can look at the offense of the Dolphins and the defense of the Cowboys and be like, they're clearly the best teams. I'm like basing everything, all this whole list and everything we know off of 2 weeks of football, I don't think is the smartest thing. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna fall into things where we go like, we know we didn't actually believe that. We just are basing off of only.
I mean,
are
we trying to? Yeah, are we trying to have like
there's some projection?
Are we trying to have this year based takes? Or are we trying to like?
Yes, this year based takes, but like a take is not just what we've actually seen. What do you believe we will see? Also, that's why I'm saying like don't just base it off what we've seen. But if you believe like the Dolphins are going to keep just mud hole stomping people, like then I get why you'd say like they're the number one team.
Yeah. So the Dolphins, I think I am not like I don't think it changes based on like a projection. Other than I do think the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They'll pull it together. The NFL script will favor them. So yeah, I mean maybe they beat the Dolphins, but I do think the Dolphins are a better team than the Chiefs, honestly. And yeah, so
keeping in mind that
I think the Niners are a better team than the Cowboys, but I definitely have anti-Cowboy bias. But like really, I think the Bills are a better team than the Cowboys. I think the Eagles. I don't know if the Eagles are better. The Cowboys are better.
I don't know if I can do that anymore. I would love to say that stuff. Cowboys at 4 feels right to me.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs are better than the Cowboys. I know what we've seen, but I let you lock in the Bengals at 10. This is how we're doing it now. I like this a lot more. We're going to take turns back and forth, locking in teams where we want them to go. I just decided that because that sounds like the most fun way to do it. And I think we're going to end up with a list that neither of us love a ton, but I like doing it like this. So let's go ahead and I'll even let's give these guys a little they're locked in. Same with the Bengals. John, let's talk this through. Who are we locking in next?
We're locking in the Dolphins at 1.
Okay, and that's the game we play.
Dolphins at 1, Niners at 2. Or I guess you're only locking in 1, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, effectively, I think we know what that means. But and I'm not, just so you know, I'm not trying to play the game against you. I'm not going to go I don't think you'll actually put a team above the Niners. But but I'm going to look at where I just think we need to do the most. So I like that we did this because now it feels right. It feels like these teams belong in this gap. And it feels like these teams belong in this gap, and that's progress. Let's try to narrow down these gaps. I'm going to go ahead and say the Jaguars belong at 7, just so that we can kind of keep some rocks in the river and start figuring some stuff out. So, John, who's the next one we're locking into place? Unless you want to discuss more. I just thought the Jaguars were kind of like they were homeless. So
I'm not going to switch the Rams and Lions just because that's the chat agreed with that. I disagree. I think the Rams. If it were just up to me, I would lock in the Rams at 8. But I'll we can represent the community here and leave the Rams at 9.
Okay.
You're probably not going to lock in anymore. I mean, we can lock in. Well, I guess Bills Eagles. Do you like where that is?
The actual order or just like them being here? I think it's very tough. That's
a lot of the chat is saying that the Eagles are just in the wrong spot, which I don't know, man.
Too high or too low? That's
too low. We got Niners. We got Eagles. People putting the Eagles in the second spot.
Good. I do believe that the Eagles. I think I need the argument made for me, but if I'm just listening to what argument I would make, I think I would probably put the Eagles above the Bills right now. Yeah, the Bills. That's what I'm talking about. This season, I'm like, Bills and Eagles have been close, but the Bills have looked worse. The Eagles. They haven't looked great.
I know what I'm going to lock because I already said I'm not going to switch the Rams and Lions. So I'll go ahead and lock in one of those two. Doesn't matter.
Okay. And I think I'm going to do something controversial here. I didn't like one of the answers I gave you earlier, and that led you to say something that I don't think you actually believed in. And I'm going to do something that I think needs to be done. And I think it actually makes it a good list. I am going to lock in at number 8, the Chargers. Because if we believe that team is better than the Rams and Bengals, that's really what this list should be. I'm just going to own that I told you the wrong answer. I don't think it should be exactly based off of their conferences who we think will win the Super Bowl. If we believe the Chargers were missing from this list, let's add them back. Let's right that wrong. To give you the Rams in your spot instead of.
We're very AFC heavy here, which I really think I actually like as I look at the NFC, I don't have a ton of belief in anybody past the top 3 currently. It's just like it's a freaking wall after that.
To go all the way and win the Super Bowl, I agree. I think that is the wrong criteria. Like I've backtracked and said now, because okay, on the left side, like how many teams over here do you actually believe can win the Super Bowl? 4,
5.
Whoa, how different? Really 5?
No, not the Ravens.
Really
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4.
4.
I actually have a little more, but like the Jaguars and it's not a wall after that either.
Actually, I don't even know that I believe the Bills can win the Super Bowl. They don't look like a team that can.
Yeah, so I more or less believe in the Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins, Bengals.
And we're still talking about the Bengals. We're like, clearly they can do it. They're 0-2. They've never looked worse. Like our criteria is weird. Or not criteria, but like our takes are weird. You know, like I don't know why.
You don't have to agree. You just asked me. So I'm saying
no. I get you.
Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins, Bengals. I do believe like could do it. But what it is, the difference is like the NFC. It's like there are 3 that I really believe in, and then there's just like a brick wall of everybody. In the AFC, there's like a chase pack. In that chase pack is like the Jaguars, the Chargers, and like maybe the Ravens.
That is where we definitely disagree because I do think the Lions. If you want to throw the Rams in there. Okay, maybe even the Saints. I think that is the chase pack in the. I think we're the chase pack and I do actually believe the Seahawks too. I get why we don't have them on the list, but like the Falcons in my mind are where that ends. I'm like, you represent the team that could never win the Super Bowl, but you'll end up with a winning record probably because you're the Falcons. Like, and you'll just grind it out in the muckiest, gross wins. John, you're next though. I locked in the Chargers at 8. For what it's worth, because you were talking around them. Yeah, I am more in agreement that the Eagles belong at 5. The more I think about it, and the Bills at 6.
Oh, dang!
If you're looking at that,
I was just gonna lock in the Eagles at 6 because I like the Bills better.
Either way, take your call, or do something up here, whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll lock in the Bills at 5.
Okay, taking the stance. Let's do it. Bills. It's been
I think we more or less agree on the rest of this. If I'm doing that though.
Probably. I mean, I'll go ahead and take this time to lock the Niners in, and then if you want to do something radical here,
no, this is what I got. So we can lock those 2 in. Okay. Casey had to go. Casey had to go to the bathroom or something.
I didn't have to go to the bathroom. It was a dog.
Casey had a dog emergency,
and it was
guys,
bugging me.
We're 2 likes away from 20 likes. We would like to give away 2 $25 gift cards. We'd like to give away one right now. So if you're watching this video and you haven't liked it yet, like it. Get us to 20. We're currently at 18. For those of you who have already liked the video, we give the gift cards away on our private watch party on playback.tv/triplecross. There's a link to that in the description. You can watch the show over there. There's a chat over there. I'm going to read some stuff from the chat, Casey, so that you can react to it. So Jojo Mac says, because I was asking for the ranking of the top 4, she said, Cowboys, Niners, Chiefs, Dolphins. She's a Cowboys fan, so this is just looks like NFC bias to me. And then Poppin' Fresh didn't understand the assignment because I asked for the ranking of just those 4. And he said, she said, Niners, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, Jags, Lions, Rams. Gave us the whole 10. So, yeah, Poppin' Fresh. Interesting.
I'll look at that one. That sounds pretty close to how I would go, though. Poppin' Fresh, I don't know what it is. Poppin' Fresh is in my brain.
Eagles? You would have the Eagles at 2?
Wait, where is this?
Niners, Eagles, Niners, Eagles in 2, Bills in 3, Dolphins in 4, Chiefs in 5, Cowboys in 6, Chargers in 7, Jags, Lions, Rams.
No, I wouldn't have it quite like that. But I would have some differences if I did this solo for sure. But yeah, I guess if I'm looking at our list and saying like, what do I most disagree with? There's not too much. Like, how many teams would I move more than like 1 spot? Because like the Niners, I would have it 1, but that's negligible, right? That they're 1 spot off. Yeah. Even like the Cowboys, I'd love to say they belong lower, but they don't. They just don't.
Poppin' Fresh is asking me where I'm putting the Giants. Does it matter? This not good. They almost lost to the Cardinals. All right, like not good. They don't look good.
If I'm doing this, the teams that are in the spots that are the most wrong, obviously, I think the Lions, right? Because I don't think the Lions aren't in the top 10. So that'd be my first one probably. And then like,
who would you kick out? The Bengals? Would you kick the Bengals out?
I would kick out the Rams because I do agree with the like Bengals. How do you just take them out of the top 10?
Yeah.
I would probably have the Lions in here in the mix with the Chargers, and I'd have to make that decision who's better. The Chargers and the Lions feel like the same team, just in the different conferences. Like,
Yeah.
like you guys are kind of good, kinda like, and that's what it is. Like, you got good weapons, you got a good quarterback.
The Chargers had the Dolphins week 1, but who did they just lose to? They just lost to the Titans, which does not great. Like, honestly, both the games that they've lost, Dolphins and the Dolphins are good, but like Dolphins and Titans, both of those games just felt like the Chargers just aren't that team that pulls it out in the close.
Bro, you're telling me I didn't have him up here, but like I still stand by what I did. I do think this is more representative of like this is to be less controversial, maybe. Yeah, I think Dolphins at 1 is a little bit of an overreaction, but hey, that's fine. This is post week 2 power rankings. When we do like post week 6 or something, when we look at it with a little bit more data, then like we project less. We can look at more of like body
we're
work.
Gonna have a more definitive decision on Cowboys and Niners by week 6.
The Niners will be the number 1. They'll be 6-0, and the Cowboys will be 2-4, and we can all get on with our lives.
2-4. They're gonna lose their next 4.
Yeah. No, that's just what I want. No, they're too good to lose that many, really. But that is what I want. I do think that the other team that stands out is really wrong is the Bills. I like the Bills a lot. I want them to be really good. They should have been incredible already. They're starting slow at the very least, and it looks like not just slow.
I feel like those established teams that are like that's just Chiefs, Bills, Bengals. Like it's just a slow start is just more normal for them. Even the Eagles. Eagles are 2-0, but like you were kind of saying, like they haven't like put it together. It's the teams that like are full of piss and vinegar and have a lot to prove that come out hot in those first few weeks.
So here's the thing: the Eagles have looked okay. They've still been winning, right?
Yeah.
But they look like they can do better, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bills and Bengals, they've been a team hanging around the top of the league for longer. And saying they're established, yes, that makes it obvious that they're good. But I'm like, also it's given teams a lot more time to figure them out and figure out what they're good at and figure out how to stop it. And I'm not calling for that yet, but if in 3 or 4 more weeks we see that they're still not,
just saying that they didn't look good against the Jets.
If in 3 or 4 more weeks we haven't seen them recover, we'll know why. It was because teams have figured them out. It's not to say they were never good. We've seen them be good. But to say that established teams don't move down the list, like, or off of the list, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, that does happen, obviously.
I mean, you're basically just saying that the Bills didn't look good against the Jets, right? Like, that's because they looked fine last week.
Fine isn't enough to keep you at the 5, though. And I mean, even a team like the Raiders, I'm like, how good do you need to look against the Raiders to like be like, you're definitely a top 5 team?
I mean, if you beat them by 4 touchdowns, that's how much you need to beat them by.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they looked bad against the Jets, but that was the NFL
bad team
game.
To look bad against
the Jets were not going to lose the game on 9/11. The NFL can't let that happen. So that's the WWE side of the NFL.
Well, that's inarguable. Okay, let's move on to our next thing here. We do have we have some business to get to. Just for everybody, recap.
Mike says we're at 20 likes. Oh, we are at 20 likes.
Let's do it. Oh, let's do a spin.
Let's do a spin. I do not.
Or here, do you want to work on a wheel, and I'll just talk through where we're at in our picks.
Yep.
So for our picks, guys, I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see a little bit more of everything here. These are let's get us off the screen. These are our week 1 picks. John just absolutely destroyed me. I went 6-10. John went 13-3. I needed a week to recover. I did beat him, but only by 1. We both had a good week.
That was the most either of us could have won by.
Yeah. 12 wins for me, 11 wins for John. That puts our season record at 18-14 for me. John at 24-8. It's going to be a tall task to run you down, John, but I'm just the man for the job. So we will get into our week 3 picks next, as soon as we get this spin out of the way, I assume.
Yeah.
John? Actually, I'll preview the Thursday night game while you're working on that wheel. We got Giants at 49ers. That's Mike Scarlett's favorite team. I assume Gina Scarlett as well. Shout out in the chat. Going up against my Niners. Niners at home against a team that just lost their best player. Nobody's arguing that that's their best player.
And a team that does not look good.
Just like, I don't want to rub it in anybody's faces. Giants, I think, should be a okay team without Saquon. without him for like multiple weeks. All of a sudden, Giants playoff hopes are like hanging in the balance. That's just the reality of the situation. I'm going Niners all day long here. John's got a wheel ready. Let's do this wheel thing.
Yeah, we need a different view though. Let's go here. Boom. All right. If you're not on the wheel, if you're in playback.tv/triplecross and you are not on the wheel, tell me. I see you, Chris. AJ Connor. James, is that you, James Connor? Is this the first time in here? That's James Connor's burner. I've never seen AJ Connor before though. Did Casey leave? Casey just bounce? Yeah, he did. Okay.
I'm out of here, dude.
Casey
Do the rest of the show by yourself.
Yeah, if you're not, I'll leave a little wheel on for a second. We're about to give a $25 gift card away to somebody on this wheel. In order to be on the wheel, you got to be at playback.tv/triplecross. So Cliff, I see you. He says, hey, Cliff, go over to playback.tv/triplecross and get on this wheel for a $25 gift card. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to get over there. You might have to sign in. The show is on there, so you won't miss anything. The chat's there, show's there. AJ Connor says it is his first time. AJ Connor, welcome. James Connor, way to be on Sunday. I think he had a touchdown. I think he had a tutty. Justin Castillo, go over to playback.tv/triplecross or hit the link in the description and let me know when you're there so I can put you on this wheel and we can get you entered to win a $25 gift card. AJ Connor, welcome to the behind the scenes, the BTS crew. Isn't BTS like a K-pop band? Is that BTS? Is that what I'm thinking of?
BTS, yeah, right? Is that them? Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right.
I didn't know how popular they were. They're like huge. They're really
very,
yeah.
Extremely.
Okay, so wish Pittsburgh never got rid of who? Who's he talking about here? This is why I should not just read chats out on the podcast. The audio
Connor. He's talking about Connor. He's talking about James Connor.
Oh, got you. Joe Mannix, Chubb, best back in the NFL per attempt. Is that true?
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, best is like a subjective term, but
sure.
He probably is like leader in current backs and like yards per carry or something like that. I bet there's a stat to support that. Yeah.
Got you.
I would argue the modern day NFL running back does a lot more than just like carry the football though, you know.
Right. Joe Mannix, appreciate the take. Head over to playback.tv/triplecross. We are giving away a $25 gift card there. I'm going to give you a second to get over there. Ashes to Ashes got over there, and Ashes to Ashes got rid of the kitty pick. I like the kitty pick, but Ashes to Ashes, I don't know if that's a he or she or non-gender specific person, but they replaced it with a picture of Marcus Smart, so I'm on board with that. Am I not on the stage? I thought I was on the stage.
You are not on stage in Playback, but that's okay. I'm holding it down. I mean, we're not doing anything on the stage anyway. We're just muted and everything turned off. But Gina's not on the wheel, dog.
Sorry, Gina. Got you.
Man.
Very hard for me not to say Gina.
Okay, well, I mean,
and then I did it. Then I went ahead and did it anyway.
Then you did it. Then you just did it. Sorry, Gina.
Just done did it.
We're like 6, so.
All right, Jedi Fett. I don't think you're on there. Sorry.
Boys have penises and girls have giners.
That's Jedi Fett. Got you. Jedi Fett. New episode of Ahsoka tonight. Is it out already? Actually, it might be out already. Got to change it still in the Celtics uniform. Are you a Marcus Smart fan regardless of where he plays? Because if you are, that's kind of cool, I guess. I think, like he just is the Celtics, though. I'm going to have a hard time being a fan.
I think that's where I am. I think that's where you are in the NFL, really. Oh, I mean, besides the Vikings, let's say. Like, you're a player fan. That's how I am in the NBA. Yep. I mean, if Steph left the Warriors, which, let's be real, that's never happening. But if he did, if he was like,
what do we call him? Go ahead.
If he was like new addition to like the Pelicans, I'd be like, go Pels, baby. Like,
you'd be all in on the Pels.
I'd have a like Steph Pels jersey.
Yeah. So this is it. Ashes just said she loves Marcus Smart, but we can't call him in that now. We just have to call him Marcus Smart. Or what would they call him in Memphis? Marcus Smart. Whoa.
Marcus Smart.
Can't switch to a Southern accent from a Boston accent very well.
Wait. They would call him Marcus Dumb.
Marcus Dumb. Yeah, they're Marcus Smart. I don't know if that's the right Southern accent for Memphis, but we're gonna pretend it is.
Yeah, who knows?
watching after show priorities. All right, I think everybody's haven't had enough time. What do you think, Casey?
Let's spin the wheel. I got popping fresh.
We owe you guys 2 spins anyway. So if you didn't make it over to Playback in time to get on this wheel, that's all right. You can still head over there, playback.tv/triplecross, or hit the link in the description, and you can watch the show there. And the chat's there, and there's more people there than there is on YouTube now, so it's a more fun chat. You got popping fresh. I got ashes because of Mac is smart. Let's go.
Mac is smart. How do you like them apples?
You just go so hard.
I went.
It's not ashes.
Nasty.
Hey, Jedi Fett, in honor of Ahsoka, in honor of new episodes of Ahsoka coming out tonight. I'm basically a walking Star Wars billboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Jedi Fett wins one. Uses the Force. Makes it be their name. Good job, Jedi. You know what to do. Email triplecrosspodcast@gmail.com and let them know you won a $25 DAPS gift card on episode 98. Almost to 100. 100 is going to happen on Tuesday, and we haven't planned anything.
Nothing.
We haven't planned anything for our 100th birthday.
As it's looking not very ceremonious, but you never know.
No, give me
Joe
one,
Mannix.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Joe Mannix did clarify here and said that Chubb is the yards per carry attempt.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him. Where did he clarify?
I guess. I don't know. Was this what he originally said? Best back
that was
in
what he
NFL
originally
per
said.
attempt?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what he already meant then. It's per attempt. So I figured that's what he meant. I just didn't actually read the thing myself. So
yeah. Can you give me one zoom on this?
I did already zoom one.
I already zoomed one. I can't zoom one again.
You can't zoom any further.
Yeah. I already did that already.
She's always asking me to like zoom in and just do stuff like that.
All right. Giants at 49ers. I got the 49ers.
Yeah. We all knew you were gonna.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not afraid to go against you, but I am on the 49ers against the Giants. The Giants aren't good. The Giants almost lost to the Cardinals. I can't emphasize that enough. The Cardinals aren't good.
This is a pre-show. I think you said this was one of them you thought we might not be the same on. I think you know which way I would pick here, which is why you said that.
I didn't know you were as hot on the Lions as you are. So, I'm going Lions on this one.
Okay.
I get that the Falcons are 2-0. They might win the NFC South.
They might win this game. They might, but I'm picking the Lions too.
Yeah. The Falcons are one of those teams you just like. It's hard to tell how good they are. Chargers, Vikings. This one's a push.
Mine. This one's me.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a straight up pick 'em, and I do think I know which way you're going. That's not why I'm doing this, but I am going to take the Vikings here. I do think this is a get right for them. Oh, did you see that autofill? Hold on.
I did, yeah.
It's
picked. Oh, did you mean to do 49ers, Lions, Vikings, Packers, Jaguars, Dolphins, Browns?
It's picking. Oh, it's picking all the home teams. Weirdly, it just knows. It's like, yeah, you want all the home teams. Okay, I was like, it's leaking picks.
No, it's because you picked the first 2 home teams.
And it's like we get it.
Trying to figure out your formula. Okay,
so we're on the home teams. Are you going to snap the home team prediction?
Here's the thing. Because it's TCP. This is where I was going to let you have the Chargers because I'm like, okay, it's the Vikings. It's a push. Might as well take the Vikings. They're both 0-2. Somebody's got to win a game eventually. And I figured you'd pick the Chargers because I'm like, they're kind of like the better team, you know? So I was just going to pick the Vikings here already. So sorry, Vikings.
Okay. That's fine with me. Yeah, I mean, I'm just picking them. I picked first on that one. So you can't even.
I know. Yeah. You know, I was ready to go against you there. Now I feel.
Now I bet I know who you're picking here.
Yeah, and I bet we're going opposite ways. I'm going Pack.
You're going Pack.
Go Pack.
Yeah, this one is actually a super tough one, if I'm being honest. The Saints, bro, this is actually a tough one for me. I would like to save this one and come back to it, but I don't think that's allowed.
You're just making up new rules every week. Come on.
Kinda, yeah. Wait, what was the rule I made up last week?
I don't know. I remember you made something up. Maybe I don't remember what. Oh, it was that you could.
Oh,
you could qualify.
You can put a condition. Yeah, you can put in conditions. Yeah. So yeah, this one, Saints at Packers. You know, I can't bring myself to do it. I think it is going to be the Packers. The Packers have looked good. They're better than I
give you all the home teams.
Yeah, and you too. But they've looked better than I expected, and they're at home here. It's just too much in their favor. And if I'm being completely honest, the fact that you picked them too makes me feel more secure in picking them just so I don't lose a game here. That's stupid. But I think I only feel that way because I believe they will win. So picking with my brain
I
instead
kind
of
of
my
thought
heart
you'd
here.
go with the Saints because I think you're a little hotter on the Saints. Yeah, I think you're a little warmer on the Saints than maybe you should be yet. You know what I mean? Like that, like you're like a little conditioned to be in on the Saints. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm very aware these are new look Saints, right? But of the new look teams, they're ones that I thought had a lot of opportunity because they're going to play a lot of bad teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Packers. I guess the real debate is: are the Packers really a new look team or not?
So
is Jordan Love enough, like Aaron Rodgers, where it's basically the same team, or is it a new team led by Jordan Love? And maybe the answer is they're kind of the same.
Side note: the Saints have the best wide receiver in the NFL now.
Chris Olave?
Nope, Rashid Shaheed, best wide receiver in the NFL. So we're really gonna throw off Google Sheets here, like for the next few. It's gonna be like, are you sure? I asked you if what you wanted was all the home teams, and you just keep telling me no, and then taking them anyway.
It is me first, right?
It's you, and neither of us are gonna pick the Texans at any point this year. I'm gonna call that out.
That's not true. That's not true. I mean, actually, I don't know. Do the Texans play the Cardinals at all this year?
Oh yeah, I guess if the Texans play the Cardinals, then
or the Titans, perhaps.
The Titans beat the freaking Chargers.
I don't care. You care way too much. Compared to me, at least. If you lived in my brain, I'd be like, we need to toss this guy out of my brain because he cares way too much about singular matchups. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't affect.
I hear you, but the Titans just are like better than not good. The Texans just aren't good. Sorry,
Texans aren't good yet, but they have to be on an upward trajectory. I just believe that. So,
okay, Dolphins, Broncos. I got Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Got them Fins.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Russ still kind of like losing. Like he's like everybody's like he looks better. Like he looks better just losing by less. Like what?
I don't think the Browns need Nick Chubb to win this game. I'm gonna take the Browns. Deshaun Watson, not the greatest quarterback of all time, but Ryan Tannehill also not the greatest quarterback of all time. So
this one's harder for me.
I'm in. This is your Saints at Packers.
Yeah, this one's harder for me.
I mean, just make it interesting. Jeez. I'm still on all the home teams. Maybe Google Sheets was right.
Maybe they were.
I don't know. Am I going to take the Commanders over the Bills? I don't know. You got to pick that one first, though.
No. I mean, that's the thing. I do agree that the Browns are probably going to win. But I just kind of made the case for the
Titans beat the Chargers.
I made the case for the Titans a second ago.
Wait, can the Browns beat the Chargers, John? Like, I don't understand. Like,
the Browns probably could beat the Chargers.
Without Nick Chubb, though?
The Chargers. I'll put it this way. I think any team could beat the Chargers. You know what I mean? Like at the end, everything will wash out for them. But like
even the Texans,
that kind of team that loses games they're supposed to win. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the Browns, unfortunately.
The Browns. All right. Hey, we're getting boring with it. We're doing all the same picks. Doing it again.
I mean, I got the Bills. I don't know if you want to. You're downplaying the Bills a lot. Do you believe in the?
No, I know, and I do believe in the Commanders more than most. But this
is too much. Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much. Yeah, too early to be too much.
This one's kind of a tough one. So. I think it's right. I think if Anthony Richardson played, it would be harder for me. I don't know if he's going to play.
You can add a condition.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. Like, would
I just do it because that's awesome. Like, I like that.
But even if he does play, I don't know if it becomes more interesting to me. This isn't where I want my condition. I know where I want
for the audio listeners. I took the Ravens already. I just typed it in.
I actually already know where I want my condition this week, so I'm gonna go with Ravens.
We should really say the matchups first too.
Oh, yeah,
I
Colts
don't think we've
Ravens.
been doing that.
Yeah.
So John wants the Colts.
Pat's
All right,
Jets.
Ravens.
I think we're going opposite ways on this one. I got Jets here.
You got the Jets. We know that. Because we just filmed Overtime Operators, not released to the public yet. If you haven't checked out Overtime Operators, do that after the show. It's pretty cool YouTube channel. Your newest favorite YouTube channel behind Triple Cross Podcast, obviously.
Second favorite.
Should be a good episode coming out tomorrow, maybe the next day. But
a little Daps feature.
Yeah, watch last week's too. It was pretty good. Anyway, all right, I am going to go different on this one. Hopefully, Adam appreciates this one. Adam, the token Patriots fan in the chat. Adam, let me know. Did I pick it right? Are they winning this week?
Jets. We'll see. Popping fresh things for Pats. What do we got? Panthers, Seahawks. It's your turn.
Oh, it is my turn. My mistake. Panthers, Seahawks. This one, I mean, not to leak too much, but I also mentioned this matchup on Overtime Operators. I'm going with Seahawks.
Yeah, you actually are confident enough in this one to bet it. I wouldn't bet it, but I do think the Seahawks are going to win. And go ahead and give me the Chiefs on the next one.
My keyboard skills have not been great. Oh, you're still all home teams. You have not.
Well, why didn't it offer you the formula for me?
I think it did at one. I don't know. Are we going to talk about like why Google doesn't make sense now? Because that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, there's a whole other podcast we could do.
Bears at Chiefs.
You're still all home teams too, except for Patriots.
Yeah, which makes me not all home teams.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Bills.
You've broken the cycle.
We took the Bills.
Okay.
You should go with Commanders, John, just to stay all home. But come on. Where's the fun? Where's the fun? Thought you were a risk taker. All right.
Cowboys
and Cardinals. I mean, guys, I can't believe I'm picking the Cowboys to win 2 weeks in a row this season.
Dude, it might be
going to happen though. This probably isn't the only time I'm going to take them to pick.
If the Cowboys stay this good, this is going to be a tough season for you. Every week you're going to be like, freaking Cowboys again.
They play the Niners, right? At
2 weeks.
It's coming up 2 weeks. Week 4, week 5, week 4. 2 weeks, right?
5, I think.
5, whatever. Either way, we'll see then. And I mean, I'll tell you right now, we're winning the game. Like we are going to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think barring injuries, I give the Niners the nod over the Cowboys barring injuries.
Maybe
no,
it's
week 5. Week 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5. Okay. And it is a Sunday night game.
I assume you're taking the Cowboys here?
Yeah, I got them boys. All right, okay. Steelers Raiders is another push. This one's kind of hard for me to pick.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers, dude, they offensively, like Kenny Pickett makes weird reads and weird decisions, like not good ones. They hate their offensive coordinator. But the Raiders, yeah, give me the Raiders. I can't believe it, but give me the Raiders.
And I'm similar.
Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean,
it's all right.
You have to remember week 1 for me. Again, I'm not just like all about one matchup, but you got to know about the only games I watch every single snap of are the Niners games. And I watch every single snap of the Steelers play the Niners defense. And sure, it's a top 5 defense no matter how you cut it up. But the Steelers look so bad in that game, I just can't get the taste out of my mouth. And the Raiders are fine. You know, this is the battle of the finest teams. And by fine, I mean the most medium block teams.
The mid teams. I don't even know.
Yeah, this is the most. This is your mid matchup of the week. This is a triple cross mid matchup of the week. Raiders will win it though. We both have it that way. Eagles at Bucks. Give me the Birds.
Yeah. Give me the Birds as well.
Okay, I thought so. That's what the meant. I didn't mean
I'm going. So this one's hard because I do believe
you advocated for the Rams. We have Rams at Bengals on Monday night for those listening, and you advocated for the Bengals to be on our power rankings list.
Yeah, this one's tough. This one's tough because I do kind of believe in the Rams. But I'm gonna go Bengals if Joe Burrow plays.
Okay, Bengals if Burrow plays.
Bengals with Burrow. Otherwise, Rams.
Okay. Oh, Burrow, right? Okay. Bengals if Burrow plays. You feel confident the Rams will win if he doesn't, then?
Yeah, I'm going Rams. Otherwise, that's what the qualifier means. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't use a qualifier here, and I think he is going to play. I don't really think there's a chance he doesn't. But on the off chance he doesn't, I guess this is the one to use the qualifier on. Unless, what was that Colts matchup again? I mean, I think Richardson's playing too. But, no, that's not going to matter. I can't think of a better spot to use it. So, I mean, I'm going to just use the same answer here. Because I mean, it was a shock to me that you were so high on the Rams, honestly. We found that about you today.
I do believe in the Rams, but I believe in the Bengals more for sure.
I do. If this were just another team if this were the Lions, for example, let's just play that game. Jeez.
Would you? Yeah, I would still take the Bengals. At the end of the day, the Bengals are a better football team.
would you still take it Bengals if Burrow plays?
Yeah. I would put the Burrow plays qualifier on like most matchups.
I think I would go Lions in that case. I think that's where we sit different. I would go Lions here.
Yeah, I would say the Lions win if Burrow doesn't play, but
no, with Burrow, I'm saying like Bengals.
Yeah, that's where we'd split. Here's my point on it is that that could happen, and that would be, but at the end of the day, it's like I do think the Bengals are a better football team, and so I just have a hard time not picking the team that I think is the better football team. Even if if that happened to be like, yeah, the Lions kind of brought it together earlier in the season, the Bengals don't bring it together earlier in the season, so I wouldn't be wholly surprised. But I still just can't pick against the team that I don't think is better. That's what the Bengals did to us last year. We kept picking them week after week until like week 6 or 7. We got sick of it, and then they started winning.
So we just picked this game, Bengals at Rams. Our 9 played our 10.
Yep.
With the Bengals beating the Rams, would the Bengals beat the Chargers if they played today or played this week?
The Chargers are also like a slow starting team right now, so maybe. Yeah, I don't know. That's like I think by the same logic, I think the Bengals are a better football team.
Would the Bengals beat the Jags if they played this week?
No, I think the Jags would beat them. Like I would,
and every team above here or anything that.
Yeah, the Jags is the one I would probably be like, I don't know. I would waffle on it. If it were any team above the Jags, then I would take the other.
So I believe that the Bengals kind of belong here, 10, 11 spot, and that's actually to me a good indicator of like where other teams are. I guess I did just pick the Bengals beat the Rams. So I would put the Rams below them, honestly, not just because of this week. That's what I think. The Chargers would be really close. But I would have the Lions and the Seahawks up above here. So I would probably just substitute Lions and Seahawks in this 8-9 spot. If it were just Casey's, and 49ers, of course, would be up.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bills would move.
Yeah, you're hot on the Seahawks for some reason.
They're an okay team because they're just a good team year in.
Them.
They're a good team year in, year out, and you can't change that in 2 games. You know what I mean? You just can't change my opinion that quickly. Good franchises are good franchises.
I mean, the Rams had a really down year last year, but isn't that more or less true about the Rams since Sean McVay has been there too, other than last year?
I want to say there's more circumstances floating around there for sure. But I want to say they've had another season where they didn't do as great as they were supposed to either. And the McVay, just to be clear too, the McVay like tenure is much shorter than like the Pete Carroll tenure in Seattle. So apples and oranges completely. I mean, I'm talking like since Pete Carroll's been there, they've figured out ways to win, like that's just true in general. Sean McVay, nowhere near as long a resume there. So anyway, that's not Casey's top 10 though. I like where we landed. This was a fun exercise and we got our picks done for the week. We found out that Kirk Cousins is the GOAT. What else did we learn today, John?
We learned that sometimes knees bend this way and sometimes they bend this way. And when they bend this way, it's not good.
Yikes.
We learned the one way.
Tyreek Hill is a freak of nature.
We learned that Jordan Love is a top 20 or top 5 QB in the league.
We learned that John is in love with the Los Angeles Rams.
We learned that Rashid Shaheed is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. And we learned that I'm like fading the Bills a little bit, which I didn't even know about myself, but they wouldn't crack my top 5 right now.
This show's all about self-discovery, I think.
It really is.
If I were to say what is Triple Cross about, I wouldn't say sports. I'd say self-discovery.
I agree.
Yeah. That's the pod. If you're listening on audio, give us 5 stars because that helps our ego and that's very important to us. If you are on YouTube still, if you haven't gone over to Playback yet, go over to Playback, playback.tv/triplecross. There's a link in the description. But first, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so that you get notifications. And I think that's, we got a giveaway going on right now. We'll put it in the Playback chat. Because everybody's gone over there. So YouTube people.
Oh, the giveaways are all in the video description too, by the way.
And they're in the video description. Casey did
on YouTube.
Good job.
Yep. All 3 of them. There's 3 of them you can get into. Well, 2 of them and then the Playback link so that you can join on Playback. But
yep. And that's everything for this week. We will see you Friday probably. Bye.
Bye.